Hey, if you're thinking about putting your home on the market, then there's 6 things that you need to know before 2023 when you're putting your home on the market. I'm going to dive into those 6 things, but stay tuned because I do have a little story that I want to share with you. I'm going to emphasize the importance of paying attention to these 6 things and how we can help position you to win and be competitive amongst a more competitive market. So, speaking of more competitive, let's dive into the number 1 thing, which is there will be more competition in 2023. This year, we saw less homes hit the market than ever before. We also saw more standing inventory, and that's because we saw a decrease in demand from buyers. Going into 2023, expect more homes to be hitting the market, more sellers that are putting their home on the market, and ultimately looking to take advantage of that spring market because they've just been waiting. It hasn't been a great time for sellers over the last few months. It's been challenging, and it's the first time it's been this challenging in a really long time. Because of that, some sellers have held off. They haven't put their home up for sale. They didn't want to deal with all the competition. Expect more competition in 2023 as some of those sellers that did hold off in 2022 are now ready to move forward. They've wrapped their minds around the idea of selling and they're going to go forward and do it. So expect more competition. Number 2, updates and repairs will be needed. For the last several years, you've been able to put your home up on the market. The last 2 or 3 years, almost regardless of condition, you could just put anything up there and it'd still sell fast. Now it's not a matter of will you get more money or how much more money you'll get for an updated, nice and clean, move-in ready home. It could be the difference between will your home even sell if you don't have the updates or the repairs. Your home is not up to par with the condition that it should be in. So number 2 thing that you need to prepare for in 2023 is be ready to make sure your home shows well. And that's by way of repairs or updates that might be needed. Definitely consult with a professional before you start investing too much money into your home. We don't want you to put the money in the wrong places, but just know that going into it, updates and repairs are going to need to happen. Number 3, interest rates are high right now. They're higher than they've been, at least in the last 3 years, nearly more than doubled, right? We went from 3.25% up to 7% at one point in time. At the time of filming this video, we're right around 6.6%. Rates will likely stay higher than 3. I don't believe that we're going to see 3% interest rates anytime again in the near future. Maybe ever again, not sure. But interest rates will still remain a little bit high. There is some mumble and projections that interest rates will decrease as our economy slides into a recession. Historically, rates go down when a recession comes. And that is the trend that we're looking at right now. So not really sure exactly what to expect in terms of where rates will be, but they will still be higher than they have been in the past. The silver lining there is most home buyers understand that rates are higher. They've had time to adapt and understand that just owning a home is going to cost more money. And there's some stability in the market because buyers are understanding that. And as such, home sellers are pricing their homes accordingly. Number 4, you can likely buy a home contingent upon the sale of another one. That's what happens when the shift in the market leans in favor of the buyer. More than likely, a home seller would be willing to entertain an offer from you if it involves selling your home first, so long as it's a decent offer. Now, navigating through a contingent sale can be a little bit tricky, but as you're going into 2023, just be aware of what's going on in the marketplace. Understand what your time frame is going to look like, and that'll help you strategize on how you can go about making that contingent offer on the home that you really want. Which brings me to number 5, which has everything to do with timing. And my advice here is to start with the end in mind and work your way backwards. So if you know that you have a goal of purchasing a home in 2023, and you know that you want to be in that home by, let's say, June of 2023, well, currently the average days on market is about 40 days. The average escrow, assuming you're not doing a contingent sale, is about 30 days. So if you know you want to be in by June, you know you need to be in contract on the sale of your home by May, and you know, assuming it takes 40 days to get your home into contract, that means you're going to want to have your home on the market by the middle of March. Make sense? Anyhow, start with the end in mind and work your way backwards. That'll just lead to a more seamless transaction and put you in a position so that you can win. Now, number 6, is hire a professional. And hear me out on this, because obviously I'm going to say that as a real estate agent, but I truly do believe it. And this is why. Let me just share with you one story as to why it's so important to have a professional on your side. Not that a professional is going to have the answers to everything or know how to predict the market or anything like that, but just check out this story. We put a home on the market back in May of this year. May of this year was right about the time that interest rates started to jump up from the upper 3s, low 4s, up to about 5%. Now, when we put that home on the market, only a few days later, another home right next door, or maybe 2 houses down, put their home on the market as well. At the time, literally right when we put our home on the market, that's when the big jump in interest rates occurred, and we saw some serious pause from buyer activity. We're still getting a lot of online activity, but just not many buyers showing up to see the home. After an analysis of the market, I determined that we should pretty much just hold tight at our current price. And instead, rather than adjust to or be frantic to the market, we should just increase our advertising budget. So we did that. The other house, on the other hand, that was just a couple houses down, they slashed their price. A week later, things are still slow, not a whole lot of buyer activity coming through the door, but decent online activity. And I recommended that we stay to the course, we hang on to our price, did a market analysis, and made an educated decision to stick to the course. The other listing dropped their price. Didn't receive any buyer activity, no showings, wasn't getting the action they needed. After another week on the market, our listing was still performing well online, though we weren't getting the activity that we wanted in terms of showing activity. The other listing, on the other hand, was still stressed out. You could tell just by their frantic behavior and dropping their prices several times. They ended up just temporarily pulling their home from the market. Another week goes by, and though rates had increased, buyers started realizing that this was going to be the new normal, and there was actually an additional threat that rates may go even higher. Now, as of right now, there still wasn't a whole lot of standing inventory, not a whole lot of competition out there. So realistically, buyers just had to understand that this was a time where homes were just going to be a little bit more expensive than they had been in the past. We ended up going into contract on a home with the buyer at our full asking price. 1 week later, the home next to us put their house on the market, and eventually they did go into contract as well. We closed in July. They closed 10 days later for $70,000 less due to all the price decreases they had and due to missing out on that critical time in the market where the buyers came back in and entered into contract on our listing. The moral of the story is this: the seller and the agent of that property was very reactive to what was happening in the market. As a professional, it's my job to not only handle the reactions, the emotional reactions that naturally occur with our clients, but it's to be a guide, a voice of reason, to be calm, to provide the data, to help analyze the data with our client, and to make an informed and educated decision on how to best move forward. The reason I tell you that story is because that listing that frantically reduced price, that pulled their home from the market, that was constantly in a reactive state, is not unlike many of the listings that I've seen out there. There are some really good people out there that are trying to sell their home, doing the best they can, but they're reacting to the market. There are some really good people out there that are real estate agents that are following the same pattern. And in 2023, I believe it's going to be a more challenging market than what we're in right now. I believe that the skill and care you use to market your home and represent the sale of your home and negotiate is going to be more important than ever before. And this is something I've firmly believed in for a very long time. So to say it's going to be more important is even kind of crazier. But the effort that you put into presenting a property, to marketing it, to negotiating it, and understanding the different variances in the market is going to be critical to a seller's success in 2023. So I hope these things were valuable for you. I know it sounds like I'm painting not a very rosy picture of 2023. I am still optimistic though. I think 2023 is going to be a good year, not a great year. We're not going to see record-breaking numbers like we did in 20 and 21. However, 2023 will still be a good year with the right representation, with the right strategy in place, the right plan, and just the right information and knowledge. You can still win when it comes time to selling your home. I hope this was valuable for you. If you want more information specific to your situation, we should schedule a strategy session. That's where we talk about your timeline, your goals. We work together to analyze the market and your needs and craft a plan so that you can win when it comes time to selling your home. Thanks for watching. I'm Jeff Goolsby with the Goolsby Group. It's my mission to help people win in real estate, and I hope I get to connect with you soon.